You've seen statues of the serene Buddha, smiling, peaceful, benevolent. You've been sold a sanitized legend. But beneath that tranquil image lies a revolutionary warrior who challenged kings, shattered social hierarchies, and demanded radical upheaval of every belief you hold dear. I'm Silent Flame. In this series, we'll strip away centuries of comforting mythology to reveal the raw, subversive face of the awakened one and expose the lies that keep us worshipping a faint echo instead of living his fierce truth. Forget the cuddly caricature. The historical Buddha was a princely rebel who renounced privilege to wage war on every pillar of his society. Royal renunciation as political insurrection. Abandoning his throne wasn't a pious retreat, it was a defiance of birthright. Siddhartha's act threatened the caste order, undermining kingship by proclaiming inner sovereignty over inherited power. Challenging Brahminical authority, he flouted Vedic rituals and priestly monopoly, declaring that enlightenment required no caste, no sacrifice, no priestly gatekeeper, an outrage to the establishment. Monastic code as social revolution. The Vinayas' egalitarian rules, no sexual relations, no private possessions, monks and nuns of all backgrounds, were designed to dismantle societal divisions and create a radical fraternity of equals. Tough teachings, not trivial comforts. His path wasn't be kind and calm. He preached the ferocity of renunciation, the relentless uprooting of every attachment, even to the self. This was spiritual shock therapy, not spa treatments. The real Buddha was a disruptor. His enlightenment was a bomb planted under every pillar of the old world. You've been sold peace and loving kindness. But the Buddha's compassion was a blade, unyielding, relentless, and often merciless to complacency. Compassion as radical duty. He taught that true compassion demands confronting suffering head-on, even if it means shattering illusions that give you comfort. This wasn't a soft hug. It was a death sentence for delusion, chopping the roots of desire. His eightfold path is surgical. Right view severs ignorance. Right effort amputates craving. Right mindfulness cauterizes attachment. The process is precise and brutal, leaving no trace of the old self. Fearless confrontation. At deer parks and palaces alike, he challenged kings, merchants and monks, refusing flattery, exposing their moral failings. His words were verbal jabs, piercing pride more efficiently than any sword. The paradox of love and cruelty. When disciples asked why he forbade attachments even to family, he replied that a surgeon must cut deep to heal. His compassion demanded temporary pain for permanent liberation. Beneath the façade of serenity, his mercy was a merciless eradication of every lie you tell yourself. Centuries of worship have layered the Buddha in mythic gold, but hidden in the earliest Pali and Sanskrit manuscripts beats a far more disruptive heart. No miracles, only methods. Early records don't credit him with rainmaking or walking on water. They detail step-by-step psychological techniques, practices stripped of supernatural hype, focused on raw mental transformation. Angry exhortations. The Dhammapada preserves verses where he warns disciples of hellish rebirths with fury, language far harsher than modern sanitizations. His anger was a teaching tool, not a lapse in enlightenment. Secret teachings for the fearless manuscripts speak of duttaguna, austerities, solitary wandering, ice-cold baths, living off alms, methods reserved for the fearless few. Temples omit these harrowing rites to maintain attendance and donation. No submissive worship. Initially, followers were instructed to honor the Dharma, not the person. The cult of Buddha image came later, as devotional practices morphed to pilgrimage economies. History favours victors, and the early Buddha lineage was no exception. Those who dared critique the master's methods were systematically erased, their dissent buried beneath layers of orthodoxy. The Dharmaguptaka revolt. A faction insisted on radical equality, women and men teaching side by side. Their heresy threatened patriarchal monks, so their records were expunged and their leaders consigned to oblivion. The market monks. Some early disciples denounced monastic wealth, arguing that reliance on lavish donations corrupted true renunciation. Temple authorities branded them extremists and scrubbed their arguments from official chronicles. The silent sages, quiet practitioners who achieved deep insight without public teaching, were omitted. Canonical politics favoured charismatic orators. Those who modelled invisible awakening were deemed irrelevant and forgotten. Tales of banishment inscriptions hint at monks expelled for questioning the Eightfold Path's rigidity or proposing alternate routes to liberation. Their exile served as a warning. Conformity was survival. Dissent was death. To recover Buddha's fierce truth, we must unearth the silenced prophets, those who refused orthodoxy and paid with oblivion. What began as reverence for a teacher's wisdom morphed into blind idol worship, betraying Buddha's own injunction against clinging. The cult of the image. Early Buddhists bowed only to the Dharma, not statues. When grand temples rose, populist fervour turned icons into objects of magical power, exactly the clinging the Buddha warned against. Pilgrimage economies. Ascetic patronage morphed into tourism. Sacred sites multiplied on maps to fuel donations. Devotees bought merit like souvenirs, trading direct practice for ritual transactions. Mantra machinations. Phrases uttered as temporary skillful means became marketed mantras, promising luck, wealth, fame. Monasteries sold sacred syllables to the highest bidder, converting spiritual currency into gold. The price of reverence festivals, celebrating relics turned brutal. Stampedes, injuries, cult frenzy, blind devotions spawned violence and greed, echoes of the very suffering the Buddha sought to end. Worship grounded in awe became a weapon, cultivating dependency, not liberation, and chaining hearts to rituals instead of reality. Centuries of codification and commodification have tamed the Buddha's insurgent fire into a comfortable meditation app. Here's how the original revolt was diluted into spiritual fluff. From radical renunciation to luxury retreats, the Buddha lived on alms and wandered barefoot. Today's silent resorts offer organic cuisine, heated cushions, and spa treatments, turning renunciation into a pampering weekend escape. Meditation as lifestyle, not life work. Once a lifelong vow to uproot every desire, meditation is now a 15-minute stress buster you fit between emails, stripping its power to cut through ego and leaving only a temporary buzz. The wellness brand. Over the Dharma, ancient texts taught direct insight. Modern studios sell mindfulness t-shirts, branded retreats, and influencer-led transformational events, prioritizing profit over profound change. The sugar-coated surrender. The Buddha's austerities were body and mind purges. Today's surrender is a cozy mantra circle. No hardship, no shadow work, no death-like letting go. Just feel-good affirmations that leave your conditioning intact. The cost of convenience. When enlightenment comes as a consumer product, you trade inner revolution for market-tested recipes. You buy peace of mind, but you don't inherit the courage to shatter your own throne. By softening the edges of his teachings, modern Buddhism offers serenity without sacrifice, and serenity without sacrifice is no path at all. You've seen how ease has replaced effort, comfort has replaced courage. Now, I dare you to fan your inner rebellion back to life. Before the soft Buddha lullabies your wakefulness to death, ditch the cushion for the cliff, skip the retreat center, spend a night alone in nature without gear, food, or light. Face your raw mind in the uncushioned darkness. Fast your comfort. Turn off devices. Forgo social media. Deny yourself caffeine and sugar for a week. Observe the tremors in your psyche when habitual comforts are cut. This is the crucible of true insight. Speak truth to power. Find a community event or meditation group and call out a comfortable illusion they cling to. Ask the hard questions publicly. Let your voice be the jarring gong that shakes their complacency. Live with open wounds. Stop masking your doubts and fears. Wear them openly. Share your darkest struggles with a trusted peer. Journal them in unfiltered detail. Let vulnerability become your fiercest practice. If you won't risk discomfort, you won't taste freedom. Ignite your warrior spirit and let the raw fire of awakening forge you anew. Insta-worthy quotes and guru selfies have turned liberation into the ultimate performance. Here's why your feed is the last place to look for truth. Likes over liberation. Teachers chase follower counts. Every profound post is optimized for shares, not insight. When your worth is measured in hearts, true awakening is sacrificed at the altar of virality. The hashtag holy war, number mindfulness, number blessed, number enlightened. Each tag builds a neurosis of comparison, pressuring seekers to prove their progress online, transforming practice into a popularity contest. Cult of the commentator armchair critics masquerade as teachers in comment threads. Amid 1,000-word debates under a single quote image, real inquiry vanishes, replaced by ego-driven pontification, sponsored spirituality, branded retreats, affiliate dharma kits, and influencer blessing services flood your feed. When every swipe feels like a sales pitch, your mind becomes a marketplace, not a temple. True liberation isn't a spotlight. It's the dark cave of unfiltered silence. Everything else is just theatre. If comfort is the new comfort, or comfort replaced by luxury, then radical awakening demands ruthless methods. No fluff, no frills, just raw edge practices that ignite true transformation. Cold water baptism. Start your day by dunking into ice-cold water. Feel the shock dissolve sensory boundaries and expose the trembling core of your conditioned self. Digital fast camp. Sequester yourself without phones, internet, or news for 72 hours. Observe how withdrawal shakes your identity, revealing the puppet strings of habitual distraction. Fear-facing dialogues. Confront someone you've avoided. Express a truth that terrifies you. Allow the resulting discomfort to crack the facade of polite civility and awaken raw honesty. Unprotected vulnerability. Share your darkest shame with a trusted stranger. No ego armor, no spin, just naked confession. In that act of radical exposure, the self-story disintegrates. If your practice feels good, you're not practicing. It's comfort disguised as control. Seek the edge where you break. Communities built to uphold truth often become the greatest traders, watering down the Buddha's fire to something harmless enough to earn donations. Temple as real estate sanctuaries sprout luxury facilities, cafes, gift shops, climate-controlled halls. The Dharma becomes a side attraction to the real profit, land and tourism. Lineage licensing. You must pay to learn authentic techniques, signed off by high-status teachers. This corporate franchise model turns spiritual transmission into a transaction. Political patronage. Monastic orders cozy up to governments, trading doctrinal compromise for protection and funding. The result? Teachings warped to serve power rather than liberate beings. Silent censorship. Any teaching deemed too radical is quietly excised from curriculum, from talks, from translations. What remains is a bland orthodoxy that comforts but never provokes. When your spiritual home becomes a business empire, notice the irony. The Buddha's revolution ends up dressed in boardroom suits. To stand uncorrupted by comfort or collusion, you need a will tempered in the furnace of brutal self-exposure. Daily brutal audit. Each night, list every lie you told yourself about your practice, your motives, your fear. No excuse-making, only raw confession. Confronting the unspoken, identify the one truth you evade, an addiction, a betrayal, a hidden shame. Speak it aloud to your reflection until the tremor in your voice reminds you of real stakes. Accountability, partner. Choose someone fearless enough to call you out. Commit to weekly check-ins where they name your blind spots, and you thank them for the wound that opens you. Forge your oath. Write a vow to your awakening. No compromise clauses allowed. Sign it in blood or symbolic ink. This contract with yourself becomes a steel rod anchoring you when storms rage. Steel forged in fire is unbreakable. Your will, honed by radical honesty, becomes the blade that cuts through every betrayal and every comfort. You've dismantled myths, faced betrayal, and wielded brutal honesty. But the Buddha's fiercest teaching remains. The self itself is the ultimate illusion. This mirror reflects your deepest enigma, the specter of identity. All your titles, seeker, teacher, awakened, are mental constructs. Peer beyond these labels and you find nothing. The you cling to is a ghost story told by neurons. Self as the greatest obstacle. Every practice aimed at improving the self only cements its solidity. True freedom demands the final act of betrayal, to murder the self-myth you've protected at all costs. Mind's self-ensnaring loop. Observe how your mind tracks itself. Am I enlightened yet? Do I feel compassion now? This reflexive loop is the trap. The subject and object are the same, fueling infinite self-obsession, piercing the veil of I. In silent meditation, let the sense of I am here dissolve. Notice the space where subject and object merge, the unnameable zone where Buddha's own awakening first flickered. When the final veil falls, you stand naked before the boundless. No self to claim, no story to narrate, only pure, Royalian awareness. You've seen the Buddha's revolution, now embody it. Erase the final barrier, the idea that one can teach and another can learn. In this dissolution lies the fiercest spark of awakening. Teach as you learn. Share insights not from a platform of authority, but from the edge of your own inquiry. Each word is both question and answer, rippling outward without settling into doctrine. Learn by teaching. Each time you guide another, let their questions peel away your certainties. Their doubt becomes your teacher. Their struggle, your crucible of deeper understanding. Merge into mutual inquiry. In dialogue, drop the roles. No guru imparting wisdom. No disciple seeking validation. Only two flames dancing in the same wind. illuminating the darkness together. Live the no teacher, no student paradox. Walk the world as both teacher and student simultaneously. Each encounter an initiation into uncharted mystery. Each exchange a spontaneous sutra written in presence. When the roles dissolve, the living Dharma flows untamed. Each moment a direct transmission beyond words or titles. All methods, rules, and roles dissolve here. Beyond every teaching and tradition lies the raw pulse of freedom, alive, unpredictable, and unbound. Chaos as sanctuary. True awakening doesn't seek order. It finds home in chaos. Let go of your craving for structure. In the swirling storm of experience, you discover the lightning strike of presence. Desire without attachment. Cravings erupt and pass like thunderclaps. Instead of chasing or rejecting them, let them crash through you. Each surge revealing the open sky of ungraspable awareness. Embrace the unplanned, drop the script. Say yes to life's surprises. The sudden insult, the unexpected gift, the thunderous silence. In unscripted moments, the Buddha's wild heart beats strongest. Dance with discomfort. Liberation isn't a comfort zone. It's the willingness to live at the edge of your breaking point. Step into situations that terrify you. Each confrontation with fear fans the flame of freedom. The wild heart doesn't ask permission. It roars its own path through the jungle of convention. This is no epilogue. It's a call to arms. You've seen the hidden Buddha, faced every illusion, and touched the wild core of freedom. Now, embody that revolution in every breath. Live without announcements. Let your liberation be your silent rebellion. No banners, no slogans, just the electrifying energy of someone who walks free. Unlearn the comfortable. Regularly break your own enlightened habits. Leave meditation halfway. Question your certainties. Embrace shame and doubt as allies. Serve the chaotic good. Act spontaneously to relieve suffering. A harsh truth spoken at the right moment. A reckless act of kindness. A stone thrown at injustice. Let your deeds ripple without your name attached. Carry the hidden fire. Be the quiet insurgent. Your presence a spark that ignites curiosity. Your questions a challenge to every settled mind. In the spaces between words, let the unclaimed Buddha flame burn. You are the living heresy, the Buddha unbound by Buddha. Go forth as the unspoken revolution. No mask, no myth. Only the wild heart of awakening.